Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the first ever episode of Lauren DeLaguna. If you look up at your screen, you will notice that there are 6 people here, and that's because 3 of them are jurors. So we want to thank our 3 jurors for being here. Henry, please remove them. They will be removed until it is time for them to deliberate. We will put them in a separate deliberation room, which will be recorded and uploaded later. While they're deliberating, that is the time that we will be reading super chats. So if you have any super chats that you want force me to read, that would be the time that I read those super chats. But we are here for a very important battle between Dan Welsh News Network versus Turtle Boy Aiden Kearney. So let's start with opening arguments. We have Dan Welsh. You're accusing Aiden of fraudulent documents in a journal, and you're also accusing Aiden of defamation. Go ahead and begin your case.
Hey, we should do the 3-by-side thing. I like that one more. Can we do that? Can I request that?
Sure, we can, but from now on.
There we go. That's better. Okay, it's your show. Your show.
Gonna Go ahead,
Thank
Dan.
you.
Open.
It's my contention that Mr. Kearney, or Turtle Boy, whichever he prefers, I'm not sure which one he prefers, I don't mind using either. We'll use Turtle Boy because it's easier. Has, on numerous occasions in his blogs, posted knowingly and false information, misleading information solely aimed at self-enrichment. He has done this purely out of his own self-interest, without any regard for harm or injury caused to anyone else. And that's it for the opening argument.
Alrighty, that is very brief. Did you want to get to the defamation? Okay, that's it for the opening argument. Aiden, it is your turn for opening argument.
Do I get a rebuttal?
You get to rebut any evidence provided.
Okay, so my argument is everything that guy just said is bullshit.
Okay,
so basically, so I would argue it. So I've written over 25,000 blogs. I would challenge him to, so he's an expert on my blog. He says that there's fake things on my blogs. Name 10 blogs I've ever written. Out of 25,000, shouldn't be hard.
You will have a time for cross-examination. Okay. However, this is the opening argument.
Okay, so my argument is, so here's my opening argument, is that I am an award-winning journalist. I was voted Worcester County's best media outlet 3 years in a row by the people. I beat out the major newspaper establishments. I have published major breaking news stories that have gotten me national attention, that have led to real consequences, including going after some of the most powerful institutions in the country, including the Massachusetts State Police, which led to the resignation of 4 of the highest ranking members of the state police. I've held criminals accountable. There are multiple people right now facing lots of felony charges, such as Kylie Kirkpatrick, Monica Canning Grant, and Eli Rigo, for who would still be committing crimes and doing these things had I not written about them. So therefore, everything that guy said is bullshit.
Okay, so opening arguments have concluded. Now is going to be a time for cross-examination. This will be the time to provide evidence, make sure there's no hearsay or any other violations of evidentiary rules. But Dan, now is your time to ask Aiden anything you want and to prove your 2 things that you're proving.
Okay. Aiden, do you remember writing a blog that you published on January the 11th?
Yes, I do.
Of this year?
Yes.
Hang on, let me just call it up. That would be this blog.
That would be that blog, correct.
And would you read out what you've written above the link?
It's kind of small, but I'll give it a shot. It's neglectful.
Hang on, I can
read
it in if you like.
Okay, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
That better?
Yeah, that's fine. It's neglectful for parents not to monitor their children's social media. This poor 16-year-old girl has spent much of her life in foster care, and her mother is busy running a YouTube channel, so she doesn't get a lot of attention. Now this predator is openly interacting with her under images of her smoking blunts.
You call this gentleman a predator?
Yes.
Why is that?
He's commenting on a 16-year-old girl's page, and he's a grown man.
You mentioned that he was charged with raping a 15-year-old.
He was.
Wasn't he also cleared by DNA evidence of that charge?
Yeah, that's why I wrote that in the article.
But you still seem fit to call him a predator, despite the fact he was cleared.
He's a predator because he's commenting on a 16-year-old girl's page.
Do you know whether those people are friends?
Why would a 40-year-old man like this guy, who was charged with this crime, and by the way, was also convicted of several other crimes: conspiracy, indecent assault and battery, disorderly conduct, burning of a motor vehicle. If you Google this guy, his name is Jermaine Hardman.
Mm-hmm.
He is a career criminal. And that charge was one of many charges. He beat that charge. A lot of people beat charges, but he was in fact charged. So that is not a lie to say that he was charged with the crime. Additionally, on top of that, if you read the article, you only showed the Facebook. Did you actually read the article, or do you just have a screenshot of the Facebook post?
I did read the article.
Okay.
I did read the article, but I was unable to find an online source that I can pull it up from because you've since deactivated that link.
Do you know why I deactivated it?
His cross-examination, you have a time to cross-examine him afterwards. So you'll be able to, so you'll be able to bring any evidence forward, ask him about any. So if you have any questions for him afterwards, you could ask him because you just asked him a question. But this is his time to ask questions.
Oh, okay. So I'll answer the question then. So let me go on here. I'm going to quote from the article here, which was taken down. It was taken down when the Kate Peters' daughter requested that be taken down. That was what the entire conversation was about this blog. Okay. And so this is a quote from the article. He ended up skating on the rape of a child charge. There's a quote. Skating. He beat it. He beat the charge.
He didn't skate on the charge. He was innocent of the charge. He was proven innocent
means?
Of the charge.
Skating, maybe it's a cultural thing. Skating is a term we use in the United States for beating a charge. He beat the charge.
Skating is a term that's used everywhere for getting off with the charge, not for beating the charge.
So once again, it's tempting to want to argue with somebody when you're asking them questions, but you can't argue back and forth with your witness. Just go ahead and keep asking Aiden questions.
He was cleared by DNA 6 years before you posted that article.
That's not a question.
So once again, you're not allowed to specify. You have to just.
There is a question. Why did you not include that in the headline? Why would you call him a predator?
Because
he's definitely a pejorative term.
Okay.
When you knew he'd been cleared of all those allegations of being that.
Because he's commenting on a 16-year-old girl's Facebook page and writing weird, creepy comments on it. That's a predator to me. Why is a grown man commenting on pictures of a child and liking pictures of her somewhat scantily clad, smoking blunts, commenting under that? To me, in my opinion, that is predatory behavior. Maybe you disagree with that. Maybe you think that's perfectly normal for somebody like that to be commenting on a child's page. I am of the belief that it's bizarre for a grown man to be commenting on a junior in high school's Facebook page out of nowhere, because to me, it would suggest that they have some type of relationship in real life. How else would he know this person? Why is he commenting on her Facebook page? That's why I think that's predatory behavior. You disagree with that. We'll just have to disagree to agree.
Shouldn't these be things you researched and established what their relationship is before you published the article?
No, because there is absolutely under no circumstances is it ever okay for a grown man with multiple convictions to be commenting under pictures of a 16-year-old girl, she was 15 at the time, smoking blunts. You and I guess, have a disagreement about whether or not that's normal. I don't. But the fact of the matter is that every single thing posted in that blog is true. He was charged with the crime. He did skate on it. He is commenting on a girl's page. That is predatory behavior. So for you to come up here and say that those things are lies is absolutely 100% inaccurate. It's backed up by court documents. It's backed up by screenshots. It's backed up by links. It's backed up by everything.
It's not backed up by court documents. This case has never been argued in front of a court.
Not to argue, try to keep in mind you have to ask him questions, then he gets to ask you questions. If you want to disagree with him, you can bring any evidence you want. And if you're saying he's wrong about something, feel free to show him by providing any evidence. And if you need to take a minute to look for that evidence, that's fine.
No, that's fine.
Do you have any more questions?
It appears, I just want to pontificate here. It appears as if the major issue that this gentleman has with me is that I have somehow hurt the reputation of a career.
Can you pontificate when it's time for you to cross-examine him? Because your time to pontificate and ask questions is during your time. It is now his time to continue to ask him questions. So would you like to go on? So defamation, you went over that. You could continue to go into that, or we can move on to
Henry, can you pull up the link of the window I've just put up?
Okay.
This is the article from June 2017 from, I think it's the Sun Chronicle.
That's right.
Establishing that he was not a predator. And establishing that he was not in his...
do you have a question?
And establishing...
Is he asking questions?
Yeah, do you want to stop interrupting? Or...
Okay, go ahead.
Establishing he was not a predator, that he was cleared of it, yet you insist on calling him a predator. Why?
Because he's predating on a 16-year-old girl on her Facebook page. I've already answered that.
But that argument could be made against anyone who talks to a 16-year-old girl online.
No, I'm talking about going out of your way to comment under pictures of a child smoking marijuana on Facebook. There is no reason that this man should be on a child's friend list. Maybe you think that's normal, but I don't. And if a good parent out there saw that and they saw that their 16-year-old child's they would monitor their child's social media, they would look at it and they would say, why is this man, this grown 30 or 40 something year old man, commenting under pictures of you smoking blunts? Why are you posting pictures of yourself smoking blunts and putting them on Facebook for the world to see? That is horrible parenting, and that is bizarre predatory behavior on the part of the man. You seem very interested in clearing this predator's name. I have no interest in clearing this man's name. That is the difference.
No, of course you don't, because you're the one that defamed him.
I know, this poor guy, this poor predator commenting on a 16. He's the real victim. He's the real victim here.
Once again, we're not arguing. We're asking questions. You can't say no. Of course you're not. You know what I mean? So
I would like to clarify that the girl has since confirmed that she does not know this man, that he just showed up on her page. So that is predatory. If he doesn't know her, then why is he showing up on her page being like, yo, chilling girl, love your pictures, girl? That's bizarre behavior.
You'll have a time to cross-examine. Dan, continue questioning.
Aiden, you do realize that by your definition of predator, which you have established here very clearly, you're actually labeling yourself that as well. Do you not understand that by misusing words just to defame somebody else, you open yourself up to the defamation?
Would you like, Dan, before you continue, would you like to lay a foundation for that? So would you like to ask him a series of questions so that people know the backstory? so that people could understand.
Adrian,
whether
have
or
you
not-
ever been contacting
Aiden.
people who are under the age of consent within the US
No,
online?
no.
You've never had contact with anyone under the
Define
age of
contact.
consent online?
Define contact.
And if you
engaged
don't argue
with,
it,
liked a
bring
picture of?
receipts.
I
Bring
can't hear you.
receipts.
Both talking.
Bring receipts, Dan. Do not argue with him. Bring receipts.
I wasn't. I
If
was
you-
asking the question. He asked for
Ask the question
clarification
again,
of
please.
what content was. I was giving him.
What is the question?
Have you ever had contact with someone under the age of consent in the US online?
What is the age of consent? The consent to
I
do what?
believe it is where you would be considered no longer a minor.
Okay, so you're asking if I've ever spoken to someone who's under the age of 18 on the internet. Is that what you're asking me?
Yep.
Yeah, people under the age of 18 have messaged our Turtle Boy inbox before. That's happened, yes.
Would you not accept that to the public at large you run the risk of falling foul of being called a predator yourself?
Anyone that would call me a predator for responding to somebody who messaged our inbox is retarded, and I don't care about their opinions on anything.
Then why are you taking part in this?
Taking part in what?
If everyone's retarded who questions you and you don't care about their opinions, why are you doing this?
Well, Lauren said that Lauren vouched for you, and he said that you're not retarded. So I came on here, and I'm still waiting to be.
I might have a couple of degrees that say I'm not, but it's irrelevant.
Okay. Okay. So what's your question? So a minor messaged our inbox, and I responded. Okay. What's your point?
Yeah. By your own definition,
okay, so
would that not make you a predator?
No, it would not.
Why?
Because there is an obvious difference to anyone with a brain between a grown man publicly commenting under pictures of a 16-year-old girl smoking marijuana on Facebook and responding to 7 straight messages on a business account from someone who is asking you to make a business decision. I mean, that's just so obvious. And if you can't, like, do you really not see the difference?
Depends what you mean. Yes, there is.
Flabbergasted. Then could be this stupid.
There is a difference.
We don't
one is in public, one is in private.
Hold on. We don't argue back and forth. You're asking questions of him. Then Aiden also try to refrain from asking
real quick. The difference. The difference to answer his question is that in his case, he was the one reaching out to her. He was posting on her page. Okay. In ours, I didn't reach out to this girl. This girl messaged our page 7 straight times, and we responded as we do to everyone who responds. That's the difference.
And
so in your view,
and we also have other issue that you're going to cover, correct? Don't forget the others. Okay. All right. The fake.
This is good. This is going great for you. You're doing good.
In your view, a public post to a minor is worse than a private post to a minor.
Not what I said.
Yes, it is. You said.
Oh, are you telling? Is he asking questions or is he telling me things? Let's get this in order.
Just keep with asking questions. It's so
I am asking questions. It's just when he lies, I'm allowed to call him up on it.
You asked the question. No, you're not. You're asking the questions and I'm answering them. That's the format we have established here.
This is the format. Okay,
by the way,
why are you jumping in? You told me to answer the questions, then shut my...
I muted both of you. Here's how it's going to go. You're going to stop arguing back and forth and bickering, and you're going to continue asking him questions, and he's going to answer. Then later, Aiden is going to ask you questions, and you're going to answer. And then after that, you're going to have closing arguments where you're going to be able to put everything together from tonight and push your case. And then we're going to have 3 jurors who are going to decide. And that's what's going to happen. You are unmuted. Go ahead, Dan. Continue with your question.
Okay. Did you also... We'll go on to the other case. Did you post up some documents that you claimed that you got from the Department of, what's it called in your state? Children and Families.
Yes.
Yeah, DCF.
How much research did you do into the authenticity of those documents?
A lot. I got them from
Would
DCF.
you care to go through the process that you went through to establish those documents as being genuine?
Sources within DCF gave them to me, and I spoke to people that were trusted sources. I don't reveal my sources. You're not going to find them out.
Well, I wouldn't ask you to reveal your sources. That wouldn't be fair.
Put it this way. I would never, ever, ever publish something that was not true about such a serious topic. Because if I did, if those documents were not genuine, it would open me up to a slam dunk libel case. So I'm wondering at this point if those documents aren't real, and then I've defamed Kay Peter, and why hasn't she sued me? Because she raised money for that.
She didn't raise money to sue you.
Sure you did. You should do your homework, son. $4,000 she raised to sue me.
For a very, very specific case.
Once again, we're not arguing back and forth.
But he's got to get his facts straight. He's got to get his facts straight, Lauren. So $4,000 she raised to sue me specifically because she said these documents were fake. Kate admitted to that in the Merb interview. But go ahead.
Before you is an email from DCF to Kate Peters.
How do we know that that's DCF from DCF for certain?
I've seen the original email, the unredacted version.
You have? Really?
Yes.
Well, look, would you like to share it with the class?
No. We're gonna let you cross-examine him later, but I can't verify that this is a verified document. Just go ahead, go on.
In this document, I'll read out the document.
Fake document, but go ahead. Yep.
You have the right to request your entire case file through a written request. Is this what you're asking to do? It may take a few weeks as your case has been closed out for several years and records are voluminous. As far as the photograph you have attached, I can assure you it did not come from the Department of Children and Families. Our records would not be written in such a manner. The formatting is incorrect and it appears to be a photograph of a computer screen. We also do not redact our files in colored ink through a paint program. As you are aware from your previous conversations with Redacted last year, an electronic lock was placed on your file per your request. And prior to that, no one had accessed your file electronically since the closure of your case in Redacted. It is therefore unequivocally impossible for a photograph of a partial document to have come from your file at all. Furthermore, no one in our office would engage in such unethical behavior, the usual boilerplate stuff, nor would anyone communicate with a third party unrelated to your case regarding your children without the proper releases. To address your other concerns, the accusations of child abuse and sexual abuse did not come from any employee within the department. As I am sure you're aware, for any time during the duration of your time as a consumer of the department had any concerns regarding physical or sexual abuse, you would be fully aware, your action plan would have reflected the concerns, and a district attorney referral would have been made to pursue criminal charges against the offending party had charges not yet been filed. This is obviously not the case for you and your children. It is concerning to hear that those things are being said about you and your family, and although I can certainly empathize with your concerns, none of this false information originated from the department.
Oh my God, that is priceless.
You have to ask the question.
Tell me. I can't wait to hear the question about this fake email. Go ahead. Do you have a question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Given this, I was just waiting for you to shut up.
It was too funny. That was a funny email. That was a funny email. But go ahead.
How is this document false, but yours are real?
Why is that false? Because obviously DCF would not write a fucking book like that, like over a simple request. You have to be literally retarded to think that a DCF worker actually wrote that. It's my contention that the first sentence was real. That was the real one. And then the rest of it is just Kate adding on, because as you know, because I'm sure you did your background research into this, you came very well prepared. You would know that Kate herself has admitted to forgery of documents, legal documents, several times, including an infamous incident in 2020 in which she attempted to get a strike on our channel. And when you do that, you have to submit documentation to YouTube to show that you have filed a federal complaint in federal court alleging copyright infringement. And so in order to do that, Kate submitted what appeared to be a federal complaint. It was quite voluminous, and she submitted it to YouTube. No, my response.
You're supposed to answer the question, not go off on a half an hour.
I'm talking.
Shut up.
Mute him.
He is not allowed to do this one.
Oh, I'm not allowed
to. He is supposed to just answer the.
Okay, so I'm going to I have both of you muted. I'm going to have you repeat the question, and I'm going to see if. Okay, Aiden, I see you shaking your head. And also keep in mind, Aiden, you're going to have your opportunity to cross-examine, right? So you'll be able to pull that document back up and ask him questions about it, okay? So you'll have that. Go ahead, re-ask your question. And if you need to cut him off, cut him off.
Before I do, I'd like to get something clarified.
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing this as a court, in which case he's only to answer the question, not to go off on the sermon?
He is
only can't testify.
But he is allowed to answer the question fully and completely.
Yes, but he's also not allowed to go off on a tangent and drag in other information. He's only allowed to answer the question actually asked.
Stay on the question actually asked. Go ahead, Dan. And you're right. And I'm trying my best. YouTube, it's a little bit more difficult than real life, but we're doing great. I think we're doing great. Stay on topic, Aiden. And I understand how it was relevant, and I understand how it was on topic, but try to make it more concise. Go. Dan, re-ask the question.
Given that we have these two differing documents, how are we supposed to establish that yours are true?
That mine are true. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Because number one, most importantly, 2 days ago in court, you might have missed this, Kate Peter admitted that the documents were real in court under oath. Are you aware?
That was not exactly what was said in the court record.
You don't get to argue back, and he doesn't get to ask you questions until it's his time to ask. There's no arguing back and forth. You just get to ask him questions. He says something that annoys you, just ignore it and ask him questions. It's annoying. This happens to attorneys all the time.
I know.
It's annoying. Go ahead. I forgot to make my vocal. Hold on. I need to show you. I forgot to make the vocal disclaimer. I'm not an attorney. This is not legal advice. I'm as much of a judge as Chrissy Teigen. Go.
I will one day find out who Chrissy Teigen is.
You don't. You're lucky that you don't know who Chrissy Teigen is. Keep that up. Keep that up. You're doing well in life if you don't know who Chrissy Teigen is.
It must be a cultural thing.
Oh, it's definitely an American thing.
Given that both these documents have to be given the same weight, that they have no supporting evidence because you cannot supply any, you can't bring any witnesses from the DCF for obvious reasons that they'd get fired. I cannot bring any witnesses. There is nothing to say that your documents hold any more weight than these documents.
Why not to testify? Just ask a question.
Yeah, you got a question or what? Come on.
Other than your opinion.
Wrong.
Why would you give these more weight than the others?
Why would I give them more weight? Because Kate admitted 2 days ago in court under oath that those documents are real. And number two, I verified the source. The source came directly from a DCF employee. I was able to verify that they came from a DCF employee because I do background search. I don't reveal my sources, but I also wouldn't publish something that's defamatory. And if I did publish something that was defamatory, Kate could have sued me 3 years ago, but she didn't because it's all true. Additionally, there were specific details in those DCF reports that I would not have any knowledge of. So what are we doing here?
There's another document from...
I thought I was answering a question. We're bringing up new documents.
Yeah, I was just getting it ready. I wasn't expecting it to come up straight away.
You're taking over this. Is he in charge?
No, I didn't pull it up.
Okay. I was just pulling it up early. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Is he in charge? Because that just fucked everything up.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Okay.
That's fine. That's me.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know where I was going. Like, basically, what was your question? Like, how do we know?
Yeah, documents real. Why are hers fake? Because you verified it.
Let's list them. Number one, that's real because she said it was real in court 2 days ago. Okay. Number two, it's because I verified the sources because I was sent them and I verified that the sources did in fact come from DCF. Number three, we know it's real because if you look at those DCF documents and you read them very carefully, there are specific details with specific dates that I would be unaware of if I just made them up myself. For instance, there are specific names of foster parents in there. There is exact to the date in which they were moved from point A to point B, that I would have no knowledge of any of this information. And number four, because I verified that this did in fact come from a DCF worker and that Kate would sue me if it was not true, but it's all true. That's how we know it's true.
That information you talk about, the specific dates and the specific examples you brought up, is that information not publicly available in the court's office?
It's not.
It's not?
It's not.
There's no records held publicly of when childs are placed up for adoption?
There's no records of kids moving from one foster home to another.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you reconcile your position with the next document?
Okay, let me pull that. So now ask your question about this document.
How do you reconcile your position with this document?
What does that mean? I don't
let's give him a minute. Can you explain what this document is?
Yeah,
this document is from the Department of Human Health Services. On there, it's an actual physical document saying that the allegations against Kate Peters were unsupported.
So what's your question?
Given how much you cover Kate and how often you have made her a personality on your blog, why was this not given time?
Why did I not write about a DCF report that is not public?
Hang on, you just wrote about a whole load of DCS reports that weren't public. So you've already established that you're quite happy to write about DCF reports.
Because no one sent this to me. I've never seen this document before. What is this document?
This document is a letter from the Department of Children and Families.
Dated what?
Dated 26th of January, 2023.
And what day was my document dated?
Which one?
The ones I published that you were so mad about that you think are fake.
They're earlier.
Right. So they're completely
unrelated.
Why did you not? It's completely unrelated.
No, it's not. Why would you bring up one load of allegations and not also present the evidence of, hey, I was wrong about these ones? If you're so sure about the ones you have, why would you not publish the ones that you know you were wrong about? Why would you not stand there and say, yep, I was wrong about these specific instances?
What is the question? What is your question?
Why would you not say you were wrong about these specific instances?
What have I been wrong about? I've been wrong about nothing. What are you talking about?
Literally, there is a document in front of you.
Yeah, I can see
from the department saying that the allegations of
neglect. You understand what the question is? Like, are you going to ask a question?
I did.
Okay, I'm going to pause you
several times. You wouldn't answer it.
Stop, Dan. Do you mind doing us a favor and reading out loud the portion of the document that you think proves that Turtle Boy was previously wrong?
Dear Catherine, as you know, the Department of Children and Families recently received a report alleging child abuse and/or neglect involving your family. Based on the information obtained, the department has made the following determinations regarding the allegations. Decisions both unsupported. The department has determined that further provision of services is not necessary at this time. However, if you feel having a more formal support would be beneficial to your family, we can work together and see if the department can provide any assistance for your information about applying for voluntary services. Please contact blah blah.
I'm going to ask you a question. How do you know that those allegations that weren't supported are the same allegations that Turtle Boy wrote about in his blog?
Yeah, we're talking apples and oranges here.
Isn't it possible that somebody else, for instance, Chili de Castro or Cyrax,
The timing.
Aiden, or sorry, Kate, wrote?
I just want to be very clear.
Remind Aiden.
I'm just, as a judge, I'd have to verify documents before they come in. That's clearly not something that we're capable of doing here on YouTube. I'm trying to verify that this is related before it comes in. So how do you know that the unsubstantiated? That's all.
It is exactly the allegations that Turtleboy made on the 11th of January. They concluded their investigation into those on the 26th of January.
Allegations? What are you talking about? What allegations did I make on January 24th? I made no allegations. What are you talking about?
January 1st, 11th, sorry.
What allegations did I make about K. Peter on January 11th? You think it's really, so you think, are you
right
saying,
there.
Are you saying I called DCF over this? Is that what you're saying?
Once again, Aiden, I know it's kind of difficult, but you'll.
Well, it's like I need to be able to talk here, Lauren. Like this is like I understand. Like this guy is really slow, and I just need to explain this to him.
Well,
Okay?
he's not.
So he is. He's very slow, and you're being nice. I get it, but like he's very slow. So let me explain this to him. Okay, I did not make any.
Right there on the screen in front of you, Aiden.
Dude,
it is neglectful for parents not to monitor their children's social media.
What?
It is right there. You have.
What on earth does that have to do with the document you just showed? What are you talking about?
Aiden, I know this is difficult for you, but if you shut up long
I
enough,
know.
you would
Words
actually
are hard.
hear a question.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna mute
I know
him.
you're not used to it.
Okay, go ahead, Dan. He's muted. Go ahead, ask your question.
You wanted to know how we know these two are related.
Yeah.
You made this allegation on the 11th of January. The date on the letter is the 26th of January after they concluded their investigation. You do not think that people that read your blog might have phoned up the department to make your allegation that you made there to that department? No one's saying you did it.
Okay. Aiden, I think he may have, I don't know if he's permanently gone, but he's definitely mad at me for muting him. Okay. I think he's frustrated a little bit.
It's like I'm just getting a drink, and it's just like we're not going to show faces and shit. It's like it's so stupid. We got 300 people in here, and we're watching a freaking box. This guy's too cowardly to show his face. He's asking. He doesn't even know what he's asking. These aren't even questions.
You know that's a lie.
What was is your camera broken? Yeah, you're in the hospital, so show your fucking face.
He really is in the hospital. Like I
show you. So what? Did the cameras not work in the hospital?
No, Aiden. It's called an invasion of privacy and would be illegal.
Oh, sure it would be. Right?
Like was explained to you before the show.
But go ahead. But anyway, so what's your question? Go ahead.
Well, maybe if you hadn't have, walked off in your huff, you'd have heard the question.
I was getting a drink of water.
Uh-huh. You made this allegation on the 11th.
That's not an allegation.
It is neglectful for parents not to monitor their children's social media. That's an allegation.
It is. Okay, it's a statement, but go ahead.
Okay, but just to verify the document, how do you know? I know that you're saying this is an allegation that he made, but how do you know this is the allegation that DCF was?
The time frame.
So you have no evidence of that. You're just guessing.
No, it's the time frame.
So you're guessing. You have no actual evidence of that. You're guessing.
There's this thing called deductive reasoning. You may have
heard so how
of
about
it,
this
Aiden,
for deductive reasoning? Because
with
apparently you missed this. I also did a stream much closer to January 26th, in which I exposed actual, not DCF documents, police reports showing that Andrew Johnson pulled a knife on Kate's daughter.
And I've asked
am
you
I talking or
about
not?
this.
Am I
You're
fucking
answering the
talking or
question.
not? Shut him the fuck up. If I'm not,
You're not
I'm not
asking
gonna be
a
able to talk.
question about this.
Dude,
Let's do
it's my
this.
turn to
Let's do
talk.
this.
It's my turn
Aiden.
to fucking talk. If
It's
I'm not
not.
able to, it's just
Hold
like,
on.
this is retarded.
Stop.
You're better than
I understand how you feel. Dan, are you done with your questioning, or do you have more questions?
I had more questions, but
Can
there's
I
no
answer
point
the
as he
fucking questions? Can I
he can't answer a
fucking
single
questions?
fucking question. There's no point.
Okay, if he's dodging questions, the jury will be able to determine that he's
okay.
dodging questions, and they are going to be the ones who come up with the final decision. So continue asking your questions.
Aiden, you made these allegations on the 11th. You posted the blog. No one made you do it, correct?
Yeah, I posted that blog, yeah.
Then there's an investigation. She is
Nope.
cleared.
Wrong.
We have
Wrong,
the documents
wrong.
to show that is the investigation and that
Not
she
the
was
order of
cleared.
events. Wrong.
You won't accept that you got something wrong.
Wrong.
This is what grown-ups do. We all get things wrong from time to time. We admit it, we move on. Screaming you're wrong doesn't answer.
You can't say we all get things wrong every once in a while. We're grown up. You just have to ask questions. You can't argue with him. You can't tell him you can't accept when you're wrong. You can't bully him. All you can do is ask him questions. Go ahead. Do you have any more questions for him?
No, I'll leave it go.
Go ahead.
So let me respond to that. So if he did any research into this, he would know. So I did a stream. So he's saying that he is alleging here. He's saying
we'll have closing arguments.
Do I ever get to talk? Do I get to
Yes.
talk at all?
Yes.
Like I
Yes,
would love
Aiden,
to be able
you
to talk on your show.
Yes, Aiden, you do get to talk. However, right now is cross-examination. So you get to ask him questions, and then
he just asked me a question. Can I answer his question? He asked me a question. Do I get to answer it? Yes or no?
I didn't
think he asked you a question, but go ahead.
So what the fuck was that then?
He said I'm done answering. He said I'm done asking questions. So now it's your turn to ask questions. You get to ask him whatever questions you want, and then you have closing arguments where you get to spend as long as you want talking. Go ahead.
Are you aware that 2 days ago in court that Kate herself admitted that those DCF documents are real?
No, that's not what she admitted to.
Lauren, can you please play the tape that I sent you?
Henry the producer has the tape, so give Henry the producer a couple of seconds and we will be playing that tape. And there's often lag time at court, so this happens. And thank you for being patient, everyone. I know that tensions get high, but Henry is working on pulling up that video. And yeah, while he's pulling up that video, I'm going to use, oh, we got it. Can you guys hear the audio? I can't.
Nope.
No.
Henry, you have to figure out the audio. Aiden, is it time-stamped on your page? If so, we'll go to your channel and play it that way.
Can I do it on mine? Can I bring it up on mine?
Yep, you can absolutely bring it up on your end. That works too.
All right, hold on.
Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. It's so nice to see you all. 13 Kings, happy to see you here. Search Block, never even heard of some of you guys, but it's nice to Vanilla Pat, Writes On, Will to Finger Do. Nice to see you. Mike Cerrone in the house. It's probably a fake Mike Cerrone. Good to see you, Scott Starbird. Oh, yes. We forgot to make you guys swear in on the YouTube terms of service. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth,
I'm
and
sharing
nothing?
my screen.
Okay.
Alrighty. All right, here we go.
For the past 3 years, Kearney has been posting rumors online alleging that my daughter was molested by her younger brother. At the time that he alleges this occurred, they would have been 6 and 3 years old. It simply did not happen. He has reposted these allegations with actually some documentation from a Department of Children and Family Service plan unrelated to sexual abuse. That is in fact legitimate. We're not sure how he got it. This is not public record.
There we go. So did you hear what she just said there?
Yes, I did.
Did you hear her say that? Did she say that the DCF documents are legitimate?
Oh, he has a connection issue. That was really bad timing.
Great, interesting timing.
No, it really says device. It really says connection issue. It doesn't say that he left. It just says
saved by the bell.
He's coming back. He's back.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
I caught the mic line. Yes, I heard what she said. She said with documents unrelated.
Let's play it again. He apparently misheard that. So we're going to play that again.
All right.
Occurred, they would have been 6 and 3 years old. It simply did not happen. He has reposted these allegations with actually some documentation from a Department of Children and Family Service plan unrelated to sexual abuse. That is in fact legitimate. We're not sure how he got it. This is not public record.
So did she say that the documents were legitimate?
She said you posted some documents from the Department of Children and Family Services unrelated to sexual abuse.
Did she say they were legitimate?
The sexual abuse ones? No.
Did she say that the DCF documents were legitimate?
Only some of them.
So how did I get DCF documents that were legitimate?
No idea.
It's a real stumper, huh? So
No.
would you not agree that if I'm able to acquire confidential DCF documents and that Kate admits they are real in court, that I do actually have the ability to produce them?
We all think you have the ability to produce them. That's the problem.
So they're real.
No.
So I don't have the ability to produce real documents, you're saying?
Oh, real documents. Oh, you produce a few, but not many real ones.
So let me get this straight. So some of the DCF documents I produced, you believe that some of the DCF documents I produced are real, but the others are not real. Is that what you believe?
Yes. And that's exactly what was said in court the other day.
What evidence do you have that some of those documents are real and some of them are fake? And how do you reach that conclusion?
I already presented the evidence I have that some of those documents are fake. Specifically the ones about sexual abuse.
What evidence is that? The email?
Mm-hmm.
Can you pull up that evidence?
Bring up the email. I would like to look at the email, please.
Can you bring that?
Hang on. I'd closed it out.
Take your time. Galama Suze, good to see you, girl. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so a couple things about this document. Okay, so are you aware? Can you go to the top of that, please? Can you show me which DCF office this is from? Where is it located out of?
Massachusetts.
Where in
That's
Massachusetts? Where in Massachusetts? Go to all, can we see the whole email? Go up and down. Does it say which DCF office this came out of?
No, it does not.
Okay.
And nor did it on the original document. The bits I've redacted are the full email address of the person who sent it.
Well, you didn't redact this. Kate redacted that. Correct?
No, I actually have the unredacted version as well.
How did you get the unredacted version?
I requested it.
From who?
From Kate.
So you're saying that Kate sent you, a man in England, or Wales rather, an email from DCF, and that you have verified that email is actually from DCF?
Yes.
Okay. So the letter says that the header of the letter says, I believe, Boston, correct?
Hang Header of the letter. Yeah, 600 Washington Street, 6th floor, Boston.
Okay. Do you know which DCF office Kate is located out of?
Oh, God, yes, but I'll massacre saying the place name.
Give it a shot.
Attleboro.
That's wrong.
Well, it's one of
Have
the
you ever,
two.
have you ever heard of?
It's
It's actually
Attleboro
not.
and-
Kate's DCF worker is out of Taunton, Massachusetts. Taunton, Mass. So if this email,
Right
came
there,
from-
you can't see it because it's closed off. It's
Yes.
been cropped, but it actually says
says-
Taunton /
Yeah, right.
Attleboro area office.
right. So if that email were legitimate and it was from her DCF worker, it would be from Taunton, not Boston.
The email doesn't say it's from Boston.
Sure, it does. Go back to it.
No, the email does not.
Can
It
you go
doesn't?
back to the email?
There's the email. It
No,
doesn't
that's
say.
that's
That's the
letter.
email.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, it's not showing the switch tabs. There we go. The email does not say it's from Boston.
In the header.
The header on the letter, which is this one, which at the bottom is signed by
we're not-
someone from the Taunton Attleboro area office, that says that's where the head office for the Department of Children and Families is. That's perfectly normal.
Go back
That's
to
the way it
okay.
works.
Regardless, go back to the other one.
The email.
So
Okay.
go to the email, which you claim is real. So what? So you claim you just expect all these people watching right now to trust you, without any evidence that this is actually from DCF.
In exactly the same way as you expect them to trust you about your unnamed sources, yes.
Okay, so can you show us the name? Can you tell us the name of the DCF worker that sent this email?
I could, yes.
What is their name?
I won't.
Oh, okay. Also on this email, do you think that if DCF wrote an email like this, do you think there's anything suspicious about the fact that it is extremely long and says words that Kate says a lot? Do you think that's suspicious at all?
I see no evidence of Kate's speech pattern in this. There's a definite lack of swearing.
Do you, with this email, let me just read this email a little more. I'm just trying to get a little closer to it.
Would you like me to zoom in?
Do you believe that DCF is in the business of recommending that somebody pursue legal avenues?
This email doesn't recommend.
I'm going to read the third paragraph down. I'm not sure what your options for legal recourse would be at this time, other than to pursue civil action, such as a harassment order or perhaps a lawsuit against the man who is spreading these rumors.
But you would have to speak to an attorney or perhaps your
Do you
local
think?
police.
Do you think it's? Do you actually expect people to believe that an unnamed DCF worker, who you will not give us the identity of, and we're supposed to trust that this person is in fact real, would decide to write in an email and give legal advice on something they're not qualified to do?
They did not give legal advice. They advised them to seek legal advice.
Right, but they were very specific. They said a harassment order or a civil lawsuit.
Ask questions, don't argue.
Okay, so do you see where? Do you believe that a DCF worker would specifically recommend a civil lawsuit or a harassment order?
They didn't. That's not what it says.
Okay, so you believe that's not what that says?
That's correct.
Okay, so you believe the statement, other than to, I am not sure what your legal options are, other than to pursue a civil action, such as a harassment order or perhaps a lawsuit. Do you believe that DCF would be throwing out ideas like that in an email in which Kate is simply asking to verify whether or not, I don't even know, what is this in response to, this email?
In response to her questioning them about the images, documents you claim to have.
Can you produce that email that Kate originally sent to them?
No, I don't have that on my file.
So you only have DCF's response to the email, but you don't have the email that Kate sent that elicited this response.
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. So did Kate forward the email to you, or did she take a picture of it and send it to you?
I have the full header chain, if that's what you're asking.
Okay,
yes.
so if you have the full header chain, then you must have the original email because that's what comes in it. Is it
No,
not?
that's
Oh, it's
not what
not.
the header chain is.
Oh, okay. So when somebody forwards an email to you with the response email, so she forwarded this response email to you, but somehow when she forwarded this response email to you, that included the whole header chain. That
That's
the
not
original,
what a header chain is.
That the original email did not come up.
That is not what a header chain is.
Are you aware that if she had forwarded this response email to you, that when that happened, the original email that this is in response to would come with that?
Yes.
So then you have seen the original email that Kate sent.
Yes. I have seen it. I don't have it.
No. But a minute
you
ago,
asked if I had it, not whether I'd seen it.
So what do you mean you where's the email? You have the email, don't you?
No longer, no, because I don't need it.
What did you do to the email?
I deleted the email after checking the header to make sure that it had not been edited.
So you came to this debate
with the screenshot.
Okay, so you expect us to believe a screenshot is real, but you can't produce the actual email itself.
You expect us to believe your
I'm asking you a
source?
question. I'm asking you a question. Do you expect us to believe that you were forwarded a response email from DCF, but somehow you originally got, so I have this straight. I just want to clarify. You received this email from Kate. She forwarded you this email, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And when she forwarded that email to you, you also saw the email that Kate originally sent that prompted this response email, correct?
Yeah.
And you have since you had the foresight to take a screenshot of this email.
No, I didn't take this screenshot. I got given this screenshot as well as the original email.
Who gave you this screenshot?
The same person who gave me the original email.
Is that Kate Peter?
Yeah.
So Kate Peter gave you this evidence that you're presenting right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and you expect us to believe, and you're arguing a pro Kate position here that this is real, but you also admit that Kate is the one that provided you with what we're looking at right now is not an original email, it's a screenshot. And Kate provided this screenshot to you.
Yes.
But you can't produce the actual email itself.
I won't produce the actual email itself. Will you produce the actual conversations between you and your source?
I'm asking you a question.
I've answered it.
So you can't. So you can provide a screenshot of the email, but you can't produce the email itself. Is that right?
You've asked me that question 6 times. I've answered it 5.
Okay, so you can't. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay. Do you believe that DCF would write this many words in a response to a simple inquiry about whether or not they did in fact send out her confidential DCF file?
Yes.
You do believe it? Okay. So thank you for clarifying that. Have you ever dealt with DCF before?
Yes.
Okay. And hold on one second. Have you ever seen any other DCF documents before?
Yes.
Which documents have you seen?
Not prepared to tell you.
Okay, so you're not prepared.
They're not to do with this case. I'm not going to reveal other people's private matters.
So you came to a debate and you claim to have emails that you've seen before, but you're not prepared to talk about them during the debate about these emails. Is that right?
No, you asked me if I'd dealt with DCF before. You asked me if I'd seen DCF documents before. I have. They're not related to this case.
So how have you, a Welshman across the pond, dealt with American DCF systems before?
Well, there's this wonderful thing, Turtle Boy, it's called travel. And I haven't always lived in Wales.
So can you answer the question, please?
I was at one point a resident in the United States for 3.5 years.
So where did you live in the United States and from what years?
Virginia.
From what years to what years?
It would have been late 90s, early 2000s.
You can't give me an exact date?
I probably could.
So can I ballpark it, say 1999 to 2002, around then?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
That's close enough.
So during that time, over 20 years ago, you came in contact with DCF documents and you recall them, what they looked like.
Yeah.
And your memory is so strong that you remember the format of those documents from a person you can't tell us the name of over 20 years ago, and they are strikingly similar to this email. Is that what you're saying right now?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying then?
I'm saying I won't tell you the name of.
That's not my question. I'm not asking for
You
a name.
asked a
I'm not
person
asking
that
for a
I
name.
can't. Yes, you did. Your question was.
That's not my question. Let me rephrase then. Let me rephrase my question. Do you expect this court to believe that over 20 years ago, you saw some sort of DCF communication with someone you know, and that you remember what that document looks like so well that it looks strikingly similar to this document?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, that is all. So that is all with that question. On to the next one here. Okay, so your primary concern with that gentleman before, the one who was I labeled as a predator, right?
Yeah.
So if that, actually, strike that. One more question about the other. If are you familiar with American libel laws?
Yes.
What is your understanding of libel?
I always get libel and slander mixed up. Libel's the written one, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's written. It has to do with
Yeah.
written. But what do you know about it?
A basic working of it. You are not supposed to and can be sued if you knowingly and deliberately tell lies about somebody and put them in print.
Okay, and so are you alleging that the DCF documents that I published on my blog and that I represented as legitimate documents about Kate Peters' parenting, are you alleging that those documents are fake?
Yes, some of them are.
So, would you agree that if I did publish false documents about Kate that damaged her reputation, that she would have grounds to sue me for libel?
Not being a legal expert, that taken into context, I would say yes.
Okay. Are you aware that Kate Peter raised $4,000 in August of 2020 to sue me specifically over the allegations I made in my blog?
I'm aware that she did raise some money. I'm not aware of the exact amount.
Okay. Would you accept my statement that it was $4,000, or do you want me to show you?
I'll accept that the amount is really an irrelevance.
Okay. Are you so of that $4,000 she raised to sue me for publishing that DCF document? How much did she spend on suing me for publishing that DCF document?
I do not know.
Are you aware of any lawsuits that Kate has filed against me for libel since I've published that DCF document?
Not that I'm aware of.
So why then, if somebody was libeled so blatantly and so heinously in such damage to another person's reputation, which would be so easily provable on their part, why would that person not sue for libel?
I would guess financial grounds.
So you're saying it's your belief that Kate Peter
4,000 would be nowhere near enough to sue someone for libel.
Are you aware that Kate Peter has represented herself in court several times pro se?
Yes, and not done a very good job of it.
You don't think Kate did a good job on Monday?
Good God, no. I think anyone that represents themselves pro se is an idiot.
Okay, so so you believe that Kate, it is your contention that Kate would have sued me for libel had she been able to afford it?
Not knowing Kate's mindset, but if you're asking what my opinion is, I would say most likely she would if she could afford it.
Okay. Are you aware that Kate Peter raised nearly, might have been over $60,000 recently for legal fees?
Yes.
So would you agree then that Catherine Peter has the ability to raise large amounts of money using her following to raise money for legal fees?
In certain circumstances, yes.
Okay. So would you agree that suing someone like me for libel, who her readers despise, would you agree that her followers despise me?
I don't know many of them.
From the comments you've read and seen on her YouTube channels, would you agree that I'm not well liked over there?
I would say that's probably true.
So would you compare the dislike of me to somebody like Jose de Castro?
No.
Who do you think is disliked more?
Chile.
Okay, so you believe Chile de Castro is disliked more.
Yep.
Has Chile de Castro ever published documentation alleging that Catherine Peter has abused her children?
This is Chile. He might have published documentation on anything. There's no way I can answer that.
Does Chile have a website that he published documentation on, like I did, alleging that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. So what I did, would you agree that what I did by alleging that she did this is significantly worse if it's untrue than what Chile did by not posting it?
Yes.
Okay. So but would you not therefore agree that if Kate is able to use Chile to mobilize donations in excess of $60,000, that she could not raise at least 2/3 of that to sue me?
No, because she was not suing Chile. She was being sued by Chile.
Oh, okay. So it is your belief that Kate can only raise money when she is a defendant and not a plaintiff?
People are far more willing to help out someone they see as the victim than someone they see as the person taking the action.
Okay. Are you aware that when Kate first, or she has made statements several times that these documents are fake? Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. And are you aware that in response to that, that dozens of people have posted that they would gladly donate to a legal defense, or not legal defense, to a legal fund to sue me for writing these things? Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
So do you not think it's at all suspicious that she has not pursued legal charges, knowing that there is an army of people behind her who will gladly donate money to that pursuit?
No, because you've said dozens of people. It takes a lot more than that to raise enough money. For a case similar to this, you'd be probably talking somewhere around $250,000, not 60,000.
Where did you get that number from? $250,000?
Partly based on your record of being able to litigate properly in court, which you do have. No one can deny that.
So but where are you getting that number from?
Based on the number of hours it would probably take, the fact that you
What
would
math
probably appeal.
What math have you done to reach that conclusion?
It's an estimate. That's why I said.
An estimate based on what? Which lawyer? What is their hourly rate? What research have you done into how much it costs to file a libel lawsuit?
Not a huge amount. You asked me the question, I gave you an answer.
So you haven't done much research at all into how much it would actually cost to file a libel lawsuit?
Nope.
Are you aware that I've been involved in nearly a dozen libel lawsuits?
Yes.
Do you know what the most I've ever spent was?
Nope.
Would you be surprised if I said that the most I ever spent on a single libel lawsuit was $25,000?
I would not be surprised, but then most of the people, from my understanding, that you've actually had libel lawsuits with were not exactly competent.
Are you aware that I was sued by an extremely wealthy, multi-millionaire developer on the South Coast?
Yes.
Would you consider him competent?
Having not seen the legal documents, I couldn't possibly comment.
Okay, well...
just because you have money doesn't necessarily make you competent.
Okay, so do you believe that Michael Gaffney was competent? Do you know who Michael Gaffney is?
No.
Okay. Are you aware of the lawsuit that Michael Gaffney filed against me?
Vaguely, in the fact that it exists.
What do you know about that lawsuit?
That it existed. That's it.
Okay.
That's why I said
Do you
vaguely.
have-
I know it exists, but nothing beyond that.
Have you you've done no research at all into how much it actually takes to file a libel lawsuit?
Like I said several times, nope.
Okay, so thank you. Next question. Back to that story before. Do you believe that a man who has no relation to a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old girl at the time, do you believe it's appropriate, or do you think it's bizarre or strange for a man to be commenting under pictures of a 15-year-old girl smoking marijuana?
Public photos? Not really.
You don't think that's bizarre?
No, it's the internet. Have
Okay,
you
so
not looked round the internet?
Yes, but do you have
That's
a Facebook?
commonplace.
Do you have a Facebook account?
Yes.
Okay. Are you the people? Do you go around friend requesting 15-year-old girls?
I barely use Facebook, so I'm probably a bad example, but no.
Do you think it's normal for grown men to go around friend requesting 15-year-old girls on Facebook?
Would depend on the context, I suppose.
Okay. So you think in some cases it is normal for grown men to friend request 15-year-old girls?
I could
That's your
think of
position?
some cases where it would be, yes.
Okay,
Would
so
you
that's
like
your
an
position.
example?
Yes, please tell me an example of when it's okay for a grown man, a stranger, to friend request a 15-year-old girl.
You're saying a grown man, and now you're adding a stranger. Which one
Well,
do you want?
Well, a stranger, because Miss Teresa has claimed that this man, in her messages to me, was in fact a stranger. So do you think it's normal for a stranger to go around friend requesting 15-year-old girls?
Does this stranger have children of the same age?
No.
This hypothetical stranger we're talking about.
They do not.
Is this stranger in a position where he might be involved with younger children?
No, he's not.
By that I mean, teacher,
I understand.
Scoutmaster, etc., etc., whatever you call them.
Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's okay for a teacher to friend request a 15-year-old girl?
Would depend. It's done quite often in terms of providing, especially with COVID. It's been used. Facebook has been used quite often to send things. It would depend on the chat.
So you think
they had WhatsApp groups?
Do you think it's appropriate for a teacher to friend request a 15-year-old girl?
It depends on what.
Okay. So it
they're
depends.
friend requesting them for.
Okay, thank you for answering that. So given that this man is not her teacher, that they have no prior relationship, that they've never met, do you think it's bizarre or somewhat strange for a grown man to friend request this 15-year-old girl who he has no relation to?
I think it's the internet. It's not bizarre. It's everyday occurrence.
Okay, so you think that's normal?
For the internet? Absolutely, it's normal.
Okay.
It happens every day.
Okay. So do you think
the question you want to ask, Aiden, is whether I think it's right or wrong, not whether it's normal or bizarre.
You don't tell me what questions I want to ask, sir. So I will ask the questions here.
Okay.
So do you think that perhaps it's that two people like you and me can have differing opinions about whether or not that is bizarre behavior?
No, because bizarre isn't a matter of opinion.
Oh, it's not?
No.
So you think it's a matter of fact that just you're right and everyone else is wrong who disagrees with you? Is that what you believe?
No. You're asking about right and wrong and bizarre and normal are two different things. If the majority of people, if it happens the majority of time, that makes it normal, not bizarre. It doesn't make it right, but it's not normal or bizarre. Words are important, as are their meanings.
So,
hence why I tried to help you and tell you what you wanted to actually ask me, but you wouldn't listen.
Okay, so you believe that this, we've established already that you believe that this is not bizarre for a strange man to friend request a 15-year-old girl and comment on her page.
It
right?
Can't be bizarre when it happens
so that's
on the internet.
So would you say that it's okay to disagree with that opinion? And that many would. Do you believe that?
Normal and bizarre are not opinions. They're statements of facts.
So you're saying
want
that it's
right or wrong.
So are you saying that you can't differ from what you just said, that it's normal and not bizarre, that you think that it is impossible to disagree with that position because your position is a statement of fact?
Adrian, the question.
My name's
the answer
Aiden.
to the
For
question,
the millionth time, my name is Aiden.
Aiden, the
Thank you.
answer to the question you're trying to ask me is
Can you
yes,
answer
I
the
think
question?
it's wrong.
Can you answer the question, though?
I just did.
No, you didn't.
We tried explaining to you that you're asking
Let me ask
not
that
the right
one more
question.
time. Let me ask that one more time because I would like him to
You
answer
can
the question.
try it. He won't get it.
What you said, that you believe it is not bizarre, that you believe it's not bizarre and not abnormal for a grown man to friend request a 15-year-old. Do you believe that it's understandable for others to disagree with you?
Oh dear. You still can't get the
It's
difference.
a yes or no
between
question, sir. It's a yes or no question.
No, it's not, because the question
Can you answer
doesn't
the
make
question?
sense
Please
because
direct
you're
the
not
witness to
using
answer
the
the question.
words.
So you can't answer the question. Can
There
you answer
isn't
the
a
question,
question
sir?
there.
I asked you, do you think it's possible for people to disagree with your position?
Is it possible for people to disagree with facts? Well, I suppose so, but Aiden, the
Okay,
answer
so
to your
you
question
believe it
for
is
the...
so you believe it is a
No,
fact.
if you're not going to let me answer, I'll just stop answering questions.
So do you believe it is a fact that it is perfectly normal for a grown man to friend request a 15-year-old? You believe that's a fact, not an opinion. That's a fact.
It is a fact. It is still wrong.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that you believe that is a fact, not an opinion. Even though it would appear that many people in the comments do not seem to think that that is a normal thing for a grown man to do. Are you aware that a lot of people might disagree with that?
People can disagree with facts. It doesn't change the fact that I have told you 1,000 times
Okay.
I think it's wrong, but you're not listening because you're too focused on what you're doing.
Okay. So back to those
Hey-ho.
back to those DCF documents. Have you looked at the documents that Kate handed to me in court the other day and said were legitimate? Have you looked at them?
I've looked at some of them. There was rather a lot of them.
Okay. Well, there wasn't that many that she provided. So I would hold on. I'll bring it up. Let's see. I'm going to bring them up on my end so we can see the exact documents that she presented in court the other day. And we are going to look at them and determine what parts you believe are false and why you believe they're false. So because I have some questions about this. Let me pull this up on my end. Okay.
I see it.
Okay. So are you aware that Kate Peter presented this document to court and me the other day?
Uh-huh. This looks...
Do you agree that this was what was...
It looks like it, yeah.
Okay. So do you believe this document is real?
I believe so. There's nothing... Can you scroll down so I can see the rest?
So that's half of it, and then here's the rest.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe this document is real?
And I'm still...
Okay.
It looks to be, yes.
Okay.
As
So you
far as
don't...
I can tell.
You're not going to contend that. Okay. So how do you believe that I could obtain a document like this that is confidential?
This one, I believe, came from the court.
So do you believe that courts in the United States and Massachusetts publicly post documents of DCF reports?
You just told me you got that document through the court.
I did not say that.
You did. You told me you got it the other day, that these were the documents Kate presented to the court, and that's where you got a copy of.
Okay, so can we bring that back up again? What is so this is from a blog that I published. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me what date was this blog published?
March 25th, 2020.
Was that the other day in court?
No.
Okay.
I was just going by what you said, that she handed you documents.
So this was published on my page on March 25th, 2020. Do we agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So how could I have received this document then? This confidential DCF document then on March 25th, 2020?
You would have had to have got it from certain sources.
What
Your
kind of
unnamed
sources?
Your unnamed sources that you've
where-
mentioned.
Where would those sources have to work?
Anywhere with access.
Access to what?
Any of the electronic files.
Do you know who has access to DCF electronic files?
I'm going to guess DCF.
So you would not,
Or anyone who works into the building.
would you contend the statement that in order to have access to those files, you would have to work for DCF to get those files? Would you agree with that?
Barring hacking their computer system, yes.
Okay. So then you would agree then that I have confidential, legitimate sources from DCF who sent me those documents.
Yes.
Okay. So then you agree that the documents can we bring those documents back up again?
Mhm.
I will agree that some of the documents are most definitely real. However,
Okay.
all of them are not.
Okay. So you agree that this one is real.
Which one?
The one we're looking at right now.
Family Strength and Needs. Hang on, let me just read it. There have been concerns around domestic violence and the fathers of the children in the recent case have been open since 2009. That first part definitely looks genuine. There's no.
Okay, so can we read can you read the history portion to me out loud, or would you like me to read that?
You'll have to read it. It's a little bit small.
Okay. History. The family has an extensive history with the department. Do you know what the word extensive means?
Yep.
What is extensive? What does extensive mean to you?
It means a long history.
Okay, so would you agree then that Catherine Peter has a long history with DCF?
No one's ever denied it.
Okay. There have been concerns around domestic violence between Kate and the fathers of her children. The most recent case has been open since April 2009. On July 9th, 2012, the department received a 51A report alleging neglect of the redacted name of the children by their mother, Kate Peter. The report expressed concerns regarding the condition of the family's home, which was observed during a home inspection. The apartment was observed to have food all over the floors, dirty diaper and dirty dishes piled on the countertops. As a result of the department removed the children on 7/10/2012 during an emergency response to the home. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to come back to that in a moment, but I'm going to read the rest here. On March 10th, 2014, mother and father signed an open adoption agreement for the younger two children. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. In April of 2014, the child was discharged from St. Vincent's. Are you aware of what St. Vincent's is?
I'm going to guess it's either a hospital or a child's home.
It is a mental health treatment facility.
Uh-huh.
Do you think it's normal for a child to have to go to a mental health treatment facility?
Would depend on the child. I mean, what had happened to the child?
What kind of things do you think would have to happen to a child in order for them to end up in a mental health treatment facility?
I would imagine being in a less than ideal home environment would have that.
Define
effect.
less than ideal.
Well, it's defined as above.
Do you think that in order to
I
end
think
up,
it was a crappy home environment. I'm not going to defend Kate.
So do you believe that to end up in a mental health treatment facility, a child would have to be subjected to traumatic things?
I'd say 9 times out of 10.
Okay. And are you aware in 2014 when this right here, are you aware of who her boyfriend was in 2014?
Not a clue.
Have you heard of a man named Andrew Johnson before?
Yes.
What is your understanding of his relationship with Kate Peter?
Either partner or ex-partner. I'm never sure.
Okay. Do you believe them to be married?
I've never asked.
Okay. Are you aware that Kate has several times referred to him as her husband?
I have no idea, but I'm not going to argue the point.
Okay. Are you aware that in fact she has never been married to anyone named Andrew Johnson?
Again, no, but I'm not going to argue the point.
Okay. Are you aware that in the dozens of police reports that have been written in response to calls to Kate's house, that Andrew Johnson has been listed as the boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
He has been listed as the boyfriend.
Do you think it's normal for a person to say that their boyfriend, insist that their boyfriend is their husband repeatedly, when in fact it's not?
No.
Okay. Do you think that makes them any less credible that they would repeatedly lie about their boyfriend being their husband?
No, I just think it means they have one weird-ass relationship.
But why would the person lie? Why would she lie about that?
People often who've been together a long time will say they're husband and wife when they're not. It's not a huge
Well, are you
thing.
aware? Are you aware that in a live stream in March of 2020, Catherine Peter not only said that she was married to him, but lifted up her hand and showing her ring finger in what she purported to be a wedding ring? Are you aware of that?
No.
Okay. If I were to show you that clip, would you contend that she did in fact claim that she was married to this man?
Yeah, you show me the clip. I'll agree.
Okay. Do we need to dig it up, or because that could take? We could do that. I could dig it up. I could take 10 minutes to dig that up, or we could. We could skip. What I'm getting at. What was that?
I think that he understands. You could.
Okay. He understands. Okay. So during this time, which Andrew Johnson was living with them, are you aware that DCF told her that they did, due to their history of domestic violence, that they did not want Andrew Johnson living in the house?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if Andrew Johnson ever left the house?
I have no idea.
Are you aware that Andrew Johnson never actually moved out of the house?
Nope, not aware.
Okay. Are you aware that one of the reasons that she had trouble gaining full custody of her children was that Andrew remained living in the house?
No. Just a point of order, Lauren. Can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
I'm not sure what this has to do with anything that I've accused him of, other than bashing on Kate.
How is this relevant, Aiden?
Well, he's saying that the DCF documents are not real, so we're analyzing the DCF documents.
Response?
I'm saying some of the DCF documents are not real, specifically the ones with the allegations of sexual abuse.
Okay, so let's go look at that. So you believe that what I'm getting at here is that the allegations made in this one are strikingly similar to the ones made in the other one that we're going to look at momentarily. And I just want to establish a couple dates here. So I'm going to read some more of this. And it says the two kids were removed again in 2015 after hotline response was initiated due to mother relapsing and going into crisis. The department had concerns regarding the mother and her ability.
Objection.
What's your objection? What means?
Relevance.
He just stated the relevance. He's trying to.
There's no question here. He's just reading these documents.
He's bringing
these documents are not in question. It's specifically the question I have raised the doubts about is the sexual abuse documents. These aren't them.
Okay.
Right. He's laying a foundation for the sexual abuse documents. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Are you aware in this document that it says that the mother, Catherine Peter, they had concerns with her ability to be honest with the department and her mental health issues?
Yes, they're on the screen.
Okay. So you would not argue the fact that DCF has said that she is dishonest and has mental health issues.
I wouldn't quote it that way, but I'm not going to labor the point.
Okay. Are you aware that in July of 2016, there was an altercation at the home involving drug use that required a police call to her house?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware that during this call, as a result of this call, Kate received a temporary 209A restraining order against Andrew Johnson?
Yes.
Are you aware that she told police in this document that she told DCF that she had ended her relationship with Andrew Johnson in July of 2016?
Yes.
Are you aware that 7 years later in 2023 that she is still in a relationship with Andrew Johnson?
Yes.
Are you aware that on September 27th, 2021, Andrew Johnson was arrested for pulling a knife on Kate's daughter?
No.
Are you aware that he was arrested and charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon on a family member, and that those charges remain open to this day?
Nope.
Do you contend that, or would you like to see the documentation?
I'd like to see the documentation.
Okay, let me pull up the police report on that one.
Okay. We are an hour, 30 minutes into it, and we still need to do closing arguments. So just keep that in mind, Aiden.
Okay. So let me pull this up.
Yep. Nope. I want you to be able to say your full piece and the full case.
He could take my word for it, or we could bring it up, but let's bring it up.
Bring it up. He asked
Okay,
you to bring it up.
That's fine. Okay. I'm going to pull it up over here. Okay.
Yeah, seriously, huge thank you for our jurors who are waiting backstage while waiting. I want a huge shout out. We have one person who is brand new here and thinks I'm a little crazy, one family member, and one fan who doesn't really know who Turtle Boy is, ironically. Yeah. So it's a good
we got it up. Okay. Have you ever seen this document before?
No.
Can you tell who wrote this document?
It appears to be from a North Attleboro Police Department.
Okay. Can you see the date right here where it says September 27th, 2021?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to scroll down to this part right here. Can you read the underlined part in green? Do we lose him?
He's reading it.
Okay.
To himself. Do you mind reading it out loud, Dan?
If you'd like, I can read it out loud if you prefer.
Yeah, go ahead, Aiden. Read it out loud.
Okay, I'm going to read this out loud. It says here, starting right here. Detective McCune advised the girl of her Miranda rights in the presence of Kate Peter, and Kate Peter signed the North Attleboro Police Miranda form. The daughter was then asked to recount what occurred that prompted her arrival at the North Attleboro Police Station earlier in the day. She stated that upon her return home from school, her and Johnson began to argue. She stated that Johnson came all up in my face and shit with his cracked out eyes, saying, quote, "What are you going to do? Hit me?" or words to that effect. She then went on to state that she said if he hurt her, she would stab him. She states that he then stated something to her such as, "Is that so?" and handed her a knife from the kitchen. She stated that Johnson held the handle of the blade and she had her hand on the blade and he was holding her hand there. She stated that Johnson stated that if she did not let go of the blade, that he would slide it in while she held it. She stated that Johnson was holding her hand to the blade and that he had cut her. Can you read all that? Do you see all of that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see this part down here? I'm going to read this out loud. Johnson, as he shoved her and she began to shove him back. Do you believe it's appropriate for a grown man to shove a 15-year-old girl?
No.
Okay. Johnson had her pinned to the ground. Do you ever think it's appropriate for a a grown man, to pin a 15-year-old girl to the ground?
I can only think of one set of circumstances where it would be appropriate, and this doesn't
What's-
appear to be that.
Okay, so it's not that. Okay.
For the child's protection is the only set of circumstances I could think of where it would be appropriate.
Okay, so you would agree that this is not an appropriate situation in which to pin a child to the ground?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you think that it is good parenting to continue to allow a man who did this to your daughter to live in your house?
No.
Okay. Do you think that it's good parenting for Kate Peter to continue to allow Andrew Johnson to live in our house?
No.
Okay. So carrying on, he responded with, "You know the feeling in the back of your neck. You are scared of me." Johnson continued to have her pinned on the ground before picking her up by her shirt and dragging her across the room. Do you think there's ever a case in which it's okay to drag a 15-year-old child across the room by her shirt?
No.
Okay. Do you see this part down here about what Andrew Johnson was charged with?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like me to read the law he was charged with?
No, it's assault and battery, I'm going to guess.
Yes, with a dangerous weapon. Subsequent offense. Are you aware that Andrew Johnson was convicted in 2018 of felony assault and battery against Catherine Peter?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware that she continued to allow him to live in her house after that?
Presumably so.
Do you think that's good parenting?
No.
Okay. So you would not contend that Kate Peter puts her kids in dangerous situations with a man who has a long and documented history of domestic violence?
I wouldn't put it that way. I would say that Kate has a habit of very poor decision making.
Would you agree that those decisions end up with her children getting hurt?
Not always, but can, yes.
Do you agree that a child is getting hurt from being dragged across the room and having a knife pulled on her?
Yeah.
Okay. So you would agree then that her decision to continue to allow this man in her house ended up with violence being inflicted upon her daughter?
I would say it was an immensely poor decision. Your
But
point
would you agree?
is I'm not here defending Kate.
But okay, so you would not. Okay, so you're not here to defend Kate.
No.
So you believe that all of this is going on in her house, but yet you find the other things that were stated in that DCF report to be unbelievable. Why is that?
Because DCF denies that they are their reports.
Well,
they
have an
deny
email.
that those exist.
With all
That's
due
why.
respect, this court, with all due respect, has this court seen any evidence from you that those are actually from DCF, that email?
The same evidence they've seen from you that
Is that a yes or a
your
no?
reports.
Is that a yes or a no?
I've answered it.
Is
Just
that
'cause
a yes
it's the
or
answer
no?
you don't want.
No, it's a yes or no answer.
No, it's not. You
Is
don't
it-
get to decide what the answer is.
Well, it's a pretty simple question. Have you shown the people watching right now that the email that you presented earlier was authentic?
No more than you have.
So you haven't. So you have not. Thank you for clarifying that. You have not shown that was authentic. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the other one. I'm going to pull that one up. The one that he's now claiming is a fake document.
The only one that I have mentioned.
Okay. Well, it's important that I show the other ones because it builds up to this one. Okay.
And
So
it
you
doesn't really, but
have
okay.
you ever seen this document before?
Yes.
Okay. What does this document show, say, or allege?
Well, why don't you read it all?
Okay, sure. The department awarded permanent custody for both children on September 25th, 2015. Question. If this document is fake, how would I know that she was awarded full custody on September 25th, 2015?
Who was awarded full custody?
Kate.
Well, that's not what that document says.
I apologize. That the department was awarded permanent custody for both children.
That would be a matter that a court would decide.
Are you aware that in American courts, DCF documents are not public and I would have no access to them?
Yeah.
So you would agree then, so for me to know something this specific, it would have to be sent to me.
Yes.
Okay. So a very specific document containing dates was sent to me and provided. Correct?
Yes, it could.
Okay.
But this document could
So
be
carrying
sent from
on.
the court, from
Wait.
anyone who had access to the court. It wouldn't have to come from anyone at DCF.
Are you aware that courts don't have access to documents like this?
Courts don't have access to documents that would have the dates that they decided something on.
This is not
of course
a criminal.
they do.
Are you aware that this document has nothing to do with a criminal or civil matter, and thus would not be?
You asked how you could get the date. This date could be.
I'm asking you. Are you aware that courts and this document, DCF documents, are not?
You
part
haven't
of court
proved this
filings?
is a DCF document.
Okay, but if it was, would it be available to the public that I could get?
And if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be
Yes
a
or
rocking
no?
chair. What's your point?
So do you agree
If-
are you agreeing that no, I would not have access to this from the court?
If this was a genuine document, which I
Yes.
still do not
Okay,
accept that it is.
if this was a genuine document, would I have access to it from a court?
Nope.
Okay,
But you
so I
would
would
have access to the date.
How would I have access to the date?
The court would certainly have anyone at the court with access to the records would certainly have the date that the department was awarded custody for both children by the court.
Where does this say that this was decided by a court?
The department was awarded permanent custody for both children September 25, 2015. Awarded.
What kind of court awards custody?
Family court.
Yeah, probate court, correct? Are you aware that all probate court documents involving minors are not available to the public?
But they are available to anyone who works in the courthouse with access to the records.
So are you suggesting that somebody in the courthouse could have possibly sent me this if this was real?
They could have sent you the date, which is what I've said 3 times.
Okay, so it's your contention that someone in the courthouse sent me the dates and I typed this out. Is that what you're saying?
Yes?
Okay, carrying on. Reason for placement. The 2 children were initially removed from their parents' care due to deplorable home conditions in February of 2012. Do you see that statement?
Yeah.
Are you aware that that statement is it aligns directly with the timeline on this document?
Yeah.
Okay, so carrying on. The parents also have a history of domestic violence and substance abuse. One child was reunified with his mother in April of 2014. The other was reunified in March of 2015. The children were removed again on cutoff the 17th of 2015 due to the mother's relapse and mental health concerns. So if this document was not real, if I typed this document out, where would I get all these dates from?
Those dates would also be in the case file.
Okay. Are you aware that they would not be in a case file?
They would be in the court's case file.
Okay, well, they would actually not.
They would, because the
Okay.
department would actually have to show what they'd done to get the judge to award them custody of the child. They would have to make a case to the judge.
Where
That's
did
how
you-
it works.
What makes you so sure that that's how that works?
Because
legal background
that's
do you
the legal system.
What really? So tell me more
You could
about
try
your-
asking the person above you. They will confirm what I have just said.
would
I'm
you confirm that, Lauren?
I'm not here to confirm or deny that. I'm also not
So
an
you
attorney.
witness, you cannot confirm it yourself. You have no background whatsoever into this.
I know how the court system works, yes.
You know.
I'm
the
well
ins and
aware
outs
how
of-
they keep records,
Okay,
Adrian. You
okay,
can
so
try
you're-
this all you like, it won't work.
Fine. We get it. You're a legal expert on how probate court works in Massachusetts. Understood. Thank you. Okay. DCF
All
placed
courts work the same way, Adrian. Big surprise to
My
you.
name's Aiden. So you believe that
I know.
all courts in all 50 states work the same way? That's your contention?
Essentially, yes. You
Oh,
provide
really?
evidence and they judge rules in these kind of matters. That's how it works.
So with so you believe that whether or not documents are made public or not,
It's not about public. I said the court's record. There's a difference.
Okay, carrying on. Well, one kid was initially placed in the kinship foster home of Miss Benoit. Do you know who Miss Benoit is?
A foster parent.
Are you aware that Miss Benoit is the aunt of this particular child?
Okay.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a woman named Dana Benoit before?
No.
Okay. Are you aware that Dana Benoit fostered took in these children while Kate was incapable of doing that?
Okay.
Okay. Are you aware that much of the information that I have published about Kate Peter that she contends is false has come from Dana Benoit?
No, not until you just revealed it.
Okay. So the fact that Dana Benoit did have custody of these children, and it says Dana Benoit in this document, would you agree that that lends credibility to this document?
No, because you just revealed that she's a source, so you would definitely know that.
So you believe that I talked to Dana Benoit and then put her into a document, and that this didn't actually happen?
No, I am saying that this document is fake.
Okay. So Miss Monica Earls, the maternal grandmother, came forward and it was approved of kinship placement. And the daughter was placed in her home on August 10th, 2012. The son was placed with Miss Earls on August 14th, 2012. In January of 2013...
This isn't the document alleging sexual abuse.
Yes, it is.
Where?
We're going to get to that.
This isn't...
Yes, it is.
It's not there.
Can I get to it?
I can see the...
We're gonna get
scroll down, Dan.
We're gonna get to it. Okay, be patient. In January of 2013, the maternal grandmother gave notice on both children, and they were placed in an emergency foster home. The following day, both children were transitioned to the home of Mr. and Mrs. K, a departmental foster home. How would I know if I wrote this document? How would I know who Mr. and Mrs. K are?
Because you've just admitted you were talking to Mrs. Benoit and have questioned her.
So Mrs. Benoit, you believe, gave me the name of Mr. and Mrs. K. Okay.
This would not surprise me.
Okay,
or
so
it could come from the court records.
Okay.
Because it's before.
Okay. So one child, redacted, was removed from this foster home on February 24th, 2013, after Mrs. K observed him acting inappropriately with the other child. What do you think acting inappropriately with another child would be in that context?
It could be violently, it could be aggressively, it could be that they were scared of the other child. There's a myriad of things that could be. Okay.
The foster parent felt that she could not keep both children safe as they were sharing a room. So when this happened, the document says February 24th, 2013. Are you aware of how old her son was then?
No.
Would you contend that he was 3 years old when this happened?
I wouldn't argue with that point. That sounds about right.
So do you believe a 3-year-old would be violent against his sister and need to be split apart for that reason?
It doesn't say which one was violent or acting.
The redacted
well, it says him or observed him acting inappropriately.
Yes,
that could be, yes, a 3-year-old with that background could most definitely be violent.
With what background?
The background of having been raised in a home with abuse and addiction issues. Absolutely, that 3-year-old could be violent.
Okay, so you don't agree that you don't disagree that the things in this report are perfectly understandable that it could have happened, perfectly believable that it could have happened from witnessing things in Kate Peter's home.
I haven't witnessed things in Kate Peter's homes. I've just read the reports
from your understanding
on what her home was like at that time.
Okay, so do you believe that children who witness trauma and traumatic things that these children have been witness to would act inappropriately as a result of seeing that trauma?
I believe that children could act out, yeah.
Okay. So do you believe then that this is a perfectly believable thing that a child who witnessed trauma would do?
Would you define what I'm believing a child with trauma would do?
That they would do something to their sister that would require the two children to be split apart and live in different homes.
Yes, I could believe that they'd act violently. And
okay.
If there wasn't a separate room to put the child in, the foster parent might not feel rightly so, that she could observe the children to make sure one wasn't being violent towards another.
Okay, so you believe that the reason they would need to be separated is as a result of trauma that they experienced while living under the roof of Catherine Peter.
I believe that the reason they'd need to be separated would be because of violence, hence why the foster parent says she felt she could not keep both children safe.
Okay, so, but do you believe that the reason that these children were acting out like this could have possibly been as a result of witnessing things in the home of Catherine Peter?
Absolutely, I believe witnessing
Okay,
violence as a young child can make you violent, yes.
Okay, thank you. So you believe that this document says things that are perfectly believable?
It does not say these children suffered any sexual abuse or were sexually abusing each other.
Okay.
Which is an allegation you've made several times, which is what I've talked about.
Are you
which
aware
is what
of a
I
man,
talked about.
Are you aware of a man? Do you have any examples of me saying that these children were sexually abused?
Yes, you've said it on your blog, on your live chats.
Can you show me where I've ever said that?
Oh, God, I can go through and find it. And you also had your co-host say it.
Would you be surprised if I told
co-host,
you that? Okay, so are you? Okay, so I'm not my co-host. I'm me. So do you have any examples of me saying it?
Hang on, let me... If you still have them up.
No.
If I have them up?
Aiden, have you taken any of your lives down?
I have not.
You have never taken one of your lives down?
Not regarding anything involving Kate Peter.
Okay.
So do you have any evidence of me ever saying that the kids were sexually abused?
Hang on, I'm just calling it up.
Take your time. But we do have to wrap things up, especially because we have a jury. We're going to have closing arguments. We're going to have deliberations, and read super chats during deliberations. Okay, I see you, Dan.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
We're ready.
I can't find it right now, but I've shown it on this program before. I'm sure if somebody could send it to me, that'd be great too. It's really unfortunate. It's really sad to read about. Actually, the children were touching each other. And thank you, Joanne. I appreciate that. You were on fire this week. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
The children were touching each other, Adrian?
Yeah, where does that say sexual? Children can touch each other, right?
Oh, Adrian, come on.
Aiden.
Talk about disingenuous.
Do you have? I asked you for a clip of me saying that the children did sexual things to each other. Do you have that?
Aiden, you can dodge around the question.
Yes or no? Do you have it or don't?
It was right there. You said the children were touching themselves, touching each other, Adrian.
Okay, so you said earlier that possibly that document could have meant that the kids were fighting, correct?
Yes.
When kids fight, do they touch each other?
No.
They don't.
You do not call it touching each other.
Oh, okay. So kids don't touch each other when they fight. What do
That's
they do
not what you call it, Adrian, and you know it. There is only one thing that you call touching each other.
Okay, listen there, Denny, okay? Do you have any examples of me saying that they sexually abused each other? Yes or no?
Adrian, it was just played. You
Denny,
can try dodging it all you like.
I didn't hear anything revolving sexually. I didn't hear the word sexually.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't have anything. Okay. Do you know who Brett Killeran is?
Yes, your former co-host who used to pay to say awful things about people.
So you think that I paid? Do you believe that Brett? Have you heard some of the things that Brett has said about putting digits in other kids?
Yes.
Okay. And did I say those things?
No, you just said that they touched each other.
Okay, so I never said that they put digits in each other.
Not to the best of my knowledge.
But Brett Killeran did.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Okay, no further questions. It's time for closing arguments. Let's have Dan go ahead and start.
Thank you, Lauren. Nowhere during any of the cross-examination did Adrian actually address the first point, the one about the man that he labelled a predator. He believes that's okay because he's convicted of other things. Misleading everyone about him being a predator is perfectly fine because reasons. Should he be contacting a child on the internet? Not really, no. Does it make him a predator? No. A scumbag? Yes. But a predator and mentioning the charge of rape is misleading. Nowhere in any of his rebuttal has he addressed this issue. On the subject of the falsified documents, not once, in the first hour of his counter did he address the actual documents in question. He was more interested in just continuing a petty feud against Kate, who, frankly, to this case, is irrelevant. His contention that because I won't show the original email or the metadata from the email proving it's genuine means it's fake is fine. Okay. But at the same time, he won't name who his source was. But that's okay. You have to believe his documents, but no evidence to back them up. That's fine. He has openly admitted that he had several other sources where he could have gained the information to write up that document. But all of those don't count because reasons. All Adrian has done is, rather than address the issues, is try and malign Kate, who was not even part of what we were talking about. All it is the continuation of a petty feud from someone who likes to lash out with zero responsibility. Someone who thinks it's okay for him to say and do anything he likes, as long as no one questions it. No one's allowed to ask questions. No one's allowed to look behind and see, where are the sources? Where are the facts of this case? No. He doesn't deny he called the man a predator, despite knowing he'd been cleared by DNA evidence of any wrongdoing. Doesn't deny it. Denies those documents, even though his own documents do not say those children were sexually abused, like he claimed when he said they were touching each other on his own live. Now he will try and say, oh, touching each other can mean so many things. That's fine. Think about the context where you would use the phrase, and with this, of kids touching each other. It can only mean one thing, and one thing only. And frankly, no matter who's right with their feud between Adrian and between Kate, doesn't matter. It's an irrelevance. What we're talking about is making up documents, twisting the narrative to suit yourself, regardless of the pain and suffering caused to other people. No mention of the apology, of any apology from Adrian for the guy he called a predator, for the abuse he got because of Adrian's article, because it was so misleading. No mention of any remorse for the real world consequences. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. All right, Aiden.
Okay. So Mr. Denny there, what he said was that the man that he is seemingly advocating for here is a man who has been convicted of several serious offenses and has spent a significant amount of time in jail. The man has been charged and convicted of several crimes that are besides the one that he was exonerated on. In my opinion, that is evidence of predatory behavior. So calling a man who has been convicted of several crimes that are serious in nature and has spent time in jail as a result of those crimes, that would be somebody who I believe is a predator. Now, that word predator could be what he might perceive as a predator and what I might perceive as a predator are different things, which makes it an opinion. If people can differ on who is a predator and who is not, that is a statement of opinion. So when he earlier said that it's simply a fact that this man is not a predator, that is not a fact. That is an opinion. We know it's an opinion because the vast majority of people watching right now would agree with my opinion that it is bizarre and inappropriate for a 15-year-old girl to be friend requested by a grown man who has exhibited predatory behavior in the past, to then for that grown man to then friend request that 15-year-old girl and then comment under images of her smoking marijuana and like pictures of her in which she is posed provocatively. He believes that this is normal behavior. I and most decent people are of the opinion that this is not, in fact, normal or appropriate or non-bizarre behavior for a grown person. Now, we just differ in that. He thinks that's normal. I don't. That's fine. We can agree to disagree on that one. But the fact of the matter is that every single thing that I published in that article was true. That man, and it's interesting that he's very concerned with restoring the reputation of a man who has been convicted of crimes that most people would agree are predatory and is commenting on a 15-year-old girl's page. Everything I said in those articles was true. He was charged with a crime. I mentioned in the article that he beat the charges because he did. So for him to say that I never mentioned that is completely false. It says exactly that in the article. I then went on in the article to argue that it is inappropriate for a man like that to be posting on a 15-year-old girl's page. I also made the assertion that a mother should monitor their children's social media accounts, and that since Kate Peter was the mother of this child, it was incumbent upon her to make sure that her daughter was not being predated upon by dangerous men. But she couldn't do that because she was too busy worrying about Chili DeCastro and myself on YouTube. And I believe it is my contention that Kate's obsession with YouTube is a significant contributor to the neglect that her children have suffered from. On to the email and the issues of fake DCF documents and whatnot. The image that he showed before was not an email. It was a picture, a screenshot of what he alleges was an email. Nowhere does he provide any evidence that that email was, in fact, an email from a DCF worker. There are several things in that email that would indicate that it's not. Based on other letters that we've seen from DCF, they would not write a long email like that with a run-on paragraph suggesting legal remedies that they have no understanding of in order to sue, would that happen to align with things that Kate Peter has said she plans on doing to me, such as obtaining an order, which she tried and failed to do recently, and suing me, which she raised money to do and then never did. So it's interesting that the exact remedies this DCF worker, who shall not be named, sent in an email that we have not seen. We still have not seen the actual email. All we saw was a picture of the email that Kate Peter claims is real, and Kate Peter is listed in real DCF documents as being a liar. And Kate Peter was caught lying several times in court the other day. Merb called her a liar on his stream several times today. She has lied about being married. For no reason. She lies about being married. Why does she lie about that? If she lies about that, what else is she lying about? Perhaps she's lying in that document might not, in fact, be authentic because we have not seen who wrote it. We have no verification of this. He claims that he has seen the actual authentic email, yet he deleted it. Why would he ever delete an email like that? Can he not retrieve it from his trash bin? What email service was he using to read that email. Why would he ever delete something like that? He expects us to believe that he received the entire email chain as well. But he claims that he does not have a picture of the original email that Kate Peter sent to DCF that prompted that reply email. As for the DCF documents, Kate herself admitted in court that those DCF documents were in fact authentic. What she disputed was that they alleged sexual abuse, but nowhere in there does she allege that the documents that we just showed were fake. As a matter of fact, Denny just claimed that he does not believe those documents even allege sexual abuse. Therefore, he's not even contending that that document is fake. What people have inferred from that document, such as Brett Killeran, was that there were digits involved there. And I have never said that, but Brett Killeran certainly has said those things. And other people have inferred those things from that document that Kate Peter has admitted were real, that Denny himself, it has admitted, seemed to be accurate based on other things that he has read about her past that are factual, that align with the exact date and times, that have dates, that have names of people that were involved in this process. He has no understanding of how probate court works in Massachusetts, even though he claims he lived in Virginia for 3 years from 1999 to 2002, which somehow makes him an expert on probate court and DCF in Massachusetts, a state he has never been to. Additionally, that email allegedly came from an office in Boston, whereas Kate has an office in Taunton. So none of that aligns at all. So the bottom line here is that the two things that he's contending, number one, that article, everything I published in that article was true. Number two, the documents are real. They've been admitted that they're real in court. Therefore, everything he's arguing has been proven to be false on this stream. I rest my case.
Okay. All right. Let me take you out of Edit Solo. So first of all, thank you so much, jurors, for being here. It is longer than we anticipated. We have in back chat for you a link that Henry is going to post. Go ahead and you're going to take that link and you're going to deliberate in another room. And Henry, go with them into that room so that we know when they're done and everything and what the answer is. And then I'll come back to the original links I sent you, and we'll have juror number 3 give us the answer there. And in order for you to find Aiden guilty, you are going to have to find that there's two issues that you could find him guilty of. So one, if you think that he said anything defamatory about the man that he called a predator. And so defamatory, if he lied about that man, basically just worry if you think anything that was a lie. And then the second issue that you have to worry about is whether or not those CPS documents are real. So just come to the conclusion whether or not you think Aiden said anything defamatory about that man, or if those CPS documents were fake. And go ahead and have fun and deliberate. And if you have any questions, feel free to privately message me and I will reach back out to you. So I see the jurors are still in back. So go ahead and take a different link. It's in the back chat. The way that you get to the back chat is hitting private chat. It has a StreamYard message in that private chat. Go to that StreamYard link. And I will also message it to individuals that I think might struggle. Henry, can you make sure they get to the jurors? Make sure all the jurors are able to get that. Okay. And then right after this, I will be reading those super chats. Okie doke. Okay. All right. And I'm seeing people leave the back chat. Okay, that is good. Juror number 3, make sure I just sent you the new link. So go ahead and go to back chat to deliberate. All righty, we got some super chats. If you have any super chats that you want to force me to read, now would be the time, or forever hold your peace. Okay, so the first one comes from Mitts for $5. As someone who's on the opposite side of Turtle Boy, I have to give credit to Lauren for being as fair as she can be. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, then we got Glamasus. Everybody loves Glamasus. Glamasus is the best. The name of the department is the Department of Children and Family Services. Kate must have been stoned when she wrote this. Yes, possibly. That is a potentiality. Kate did admit that report published by TV was legitimate. Well, the jurors are gone, so we can have these conversations. Thank you again, Glamasus. And then we have Regina for $5. DCF does not send out these emails. They call you by phone and sometimes come to your house unannounced. That sounds unfun. Natclo, thank you so much. $10. Love you, Lauren. You look stunning tonight. Thank you so much. Great job on the views. Yeah, first time breaking 300 for me. So thank you. And that's all 100% due to Welsh and Turtle Boy. So I couldn't thank you guys enough. Both of you guys promoted my stuff and I appreciate it. After the show, don't forget to hit up Lauren to get her private site. Oh yeah, this is E Prime. He has a fake OnlyFans account of a bunch of prostitutes that he found that look like me, and then he made an OnlyFans account and is charging. So if you want to follow an OnlyFans account of a bunch of porn stars who look like me, apparently this is it, and he's been promoting it everywhere. So thank you so much. Appreciate that. The Clue channel, $5. Law and Order, cool title. That is Henry the Producer who came up with that. So thank you, Henry the Producer. James Blonde 007, nice. $5. Lauren, love watching Aiden throw tantrums instead of following procedures. Welsh is amazing. Okay. $2. Anyone on the panel want a real DCF letter? Why would a Welshman, and also I love Carrie T. Carrie T! Okay, Glamasus again with the $5. Why would a Welshman have been involved in DCF before he is across the pond? He said that he came across, but okay. Carrie T. Okay. It is CPS in Virginia, not DCF. Yeah, it's true. We have different titles. CPS, different states have different titles for these things. So, yes. Lauren, you should be the new paternity test show, and that will also give us the arguing and trust issues. Awesome. Yeah, great idea. God of all chat threads, hashtag YouTube invincible. Thank you, Illumitami, and also thank you for your awesome interview the other day. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. And then we got a sticker, and then we got a big super chat. Thank you so much, Helen Wheels. Appreciate you. And yeah. So now that you've gotten it all out in the open, do you feel like you guys have a better understanding of one another, or do you still feel like the divide is strong?
Me?
Yeah, anyone.
I didn't know who he was before today. I mean, before you told me about him. So I got to play ignorant on that one. But
Dan?
I mean, he seemed pretty open to what I was saying. He didn't really disagree with most of my core premises, that this is an abusive home, that this woman is still actively involved in putting these children in a very dangerous situation. He doesn't argue with any of that. So I'm happy we found common ground on that matter.
What about you, Dan?
Because I've never heard that from a Peter eater. So it doesn't sound like he's like a hardcore Peter eater.
No, I don't think he is.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was fun. I thought it was quite a success. And I cannot wait to watch the jury deliberation video tomorrow. That'll be
Oh,
interesting.
there's a video of this?
Yeah, we're recording their
Oh.
deliberation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Could this go all night?
No, it shouldn't. It should
Okay.
this should be the quickest part, hopefully. But, if you want, y'all can relax and I could call you back up when it's done and I could just thank you, Vanilla Pat. Future shows only take
I'm just reading the comments. I'm just gonna stop my cam for one moment.
Yeah, do what you want.
Oh wait, they got the Deb face. I feel bad with the Deb face. I gotta get rid of that. I gotta get rid of that.
What's wrong with Deb face? I love Deb face.
I need to change that out. I feel bad. It's like her face.
It's really easy to change the audio. Here, I'll do myself a solo layout. How about that? I'm on camera. I'm famous, Mom.
Okay, that works.
So, Dan, how do you think your opinion of Turtle Boy has changed after tonight, if at all?
It hasn't.
Okay. Castle protection with $20. Was that Welsh smoking cigarettes in the hospital room? I don't know. Probably not. Unlikely. It's probably like machines and stuff. Welsh, you want to answer that? Someone's accusing you of smoking cigarettes in the hospital room.
Outside.
Oh, outside. Yeah. I've only tried a cigarette once, and I was in China, and it was not my thing, I don't think. It was crack. Yes, Wilma, that's what it was. It was crack cocaine that I smoked.
I mean, I'll tell you one thing. The guy that was in that article, he has to feel pretty good that he's got all these people out here simping for him. If you're that guy, you feel pretty good. And by the way, that guy did contact me, and he didn't allege that anything in there was defamatory either. We spoke, him and I.
What's the verdict? Well, we remember, so in the beginning of the show, we had 3 jurors on panel. I guess I should have re-brought them back up. But I had 3 jurors on panel. Right now, they are in a different YouTube stream, not YouTube stream, StreamYard.
Why not just have them do it right here? If you're going to show it later, why not just have it give people something to watch?
No, because then you have like it's supposed to be like a court proceeding.
You don't show it later, but in a real court proceeding, they wouldn't show the jury deliberation later on, would they?
No, they wouldn't.
So why not just show it now?
Because I don't want to. How about that? Because this is the time that I'm reading super chats.
Oh,
Lauren, you shut your mouth, Starlight. Everyone, Starlight desperately wants to be drama queen 2023. Her and stuff. Learn for drama queen. Have you heard about the Drama King and Drama Queen awards, Aiden?
I have not, no.
Settlement to contender. Objection. Court had intimate relations with defense. Aiden, is that true? Did we have intimate relations?
With who?
Did you and I ever have intimate relations?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, not to my knowledge either.
Not to my knowledge, yeah.
The hell of a rumor that's been spread. Okay. Let's not forget that Aiden posted naked pictures and videos of a girl on Twitter pretending to be her. #revenge porn. Aiden is a bad man. Thank you so much, Prime.
What's revenge? I did? What's the account? Is that the @Leah Genduso OF account? Because I don't know who. I think Chrissy needs to be on that account. Do they know who Chrissy Akamoski is? Why is Chrissy doing that? It's horrible. But either way, I mean, she doesn't care because she sends out revenge porn too. So I don't think anyone will consider LG a victim. Just saying. I don't know why Chrissy would do that to her though.
I gave really crappy instructions. So typically you would give like actual instruction with the law and yada yada. But I basically just told them to look at two issues: whether or not he lied about the man that he called a predator, said anything defamatory, and whether or not whether or not the DCF papers were real or fake. So they're just coming to two issues.
No, Rue, that's a real thing. That Twitter account, you should check it out. I mean, it's crazy the stuff that's going on in there. I don't know why Chrissy's doing that, but she must really hate her.
Yeah, I know. We got Joe Springer YouTube. Hopefully this worked out better than Joe Springer, right? This is better than Jerry's. It's Jerry Springer, not Joe Springer. Joe Springer. I thought the legal format worked. Okay, Dan, if there's anything that you would change about the format for tonight, what would you change?
I'd refine it a bit.
How so?
I think, to be fair, you need to give people more knowledge about what the format actually is going to be.
Okay.
I got used to it. I struggled. I was getting fired up early on. I'm used to like arguing back and forth. So once I got used to it, I got in the zone. So I struggled early on.
It's frustrating because you want to talk in a certain way, but that's not how.
Right.
Like natural conversation.
Right. I mean, I'm not a legal expert like K. Peter. I can't perform that wonderfully in court. I know Dan said, or Denny there said that he didn't think she did a good job in court, but I thought she did great. I think you should be nicer to her, Denny.
No, I think anyone, I don't care who it is, anyone who represents themselves in court has a fool for a client.
Yeah. And by the way, I do think it's really mean of all these people to say about Brett that he has an inability to have any thoughts of his own. Like, I don't know how he feels like that people are just basically calling him a slave for hire. Like, you put money in the machine and he'll say whatever you want. I think that he actually has a brain and like opinions of his own. And you can't like, pay him money to say things, but that's just me. You guys did. I guess you guys think he's easier to be bought and sold, but I give him a little bit more credit than that. Him and I are good friends still to this day. We're still good buddies.
You said on your drive home from the court that you thought he could be bought and sold to say whatever you want.
Well, that's what he's saying now. He's saying that everything he said was purchased by me, essentially. And so if that's the case, we're just going to call him Slave Brett. And he is my slave. I told him although last night I did tell him that he could go live. I gave him permission because he was waiting until I was done. And I go, you can go live now, Brett. And then I brought a bunch of turtle riders over there and we were all like, Slave Brett. Slave Brett was trending on YouTube. And then he canceled it. He just shut the live down. No community posts about, half a fags or anything like that. We haven't heard from him all day. He got real quiet there. So maybe somebody paid him. Maybe since he's Slave Brett, maybe somebody paid him not to talk. Perhaps that's what happened. I don't know.
I have to read this super chat. Lauren, can you please say the following in the tune of Bad Romance? Ra da ro mama. Oh wait, I didn't even do it. Ra da 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 da. Ra da ra da da. There you go. Ooh, we got a new member. Thank you, Boots. Love Boots. Boots is great. She's from the female drama community over there. Ski Mask Andy and Michelle Go. Oh, did you see Molly Go Lightly lost her channel? That was cray. Crazy. Did you see that? Do you guys know who Molly Go Lightly is? Or are you guys just in the male drama community? I think, yeah, either of you guys.
I write blogs for a living.
Right.
I don't really follow any of this shit. I don't know who any of these people are.
They know who you are, though, which must be creepy.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Again, YouTube is just a small part of the Turtle Boy portfolio. It's just another way to share content. Hopefully we can all move past this.
Okay, we got the producer back, so he's probably going to say something in back chat, or that means other people are coming soon, hopefully, with the final determination. Yeah. Yeah, we need to start we're considering making more membership content. Maybe I'll start doing, I was thinking fashion hauls for my membership content. It's very me-centric, but whatever. We do it whenever. So, hold on. Henry, could you put in back chat? Can you tell me how deliberation is going? Lauren, please clarify jury's fabrication of documents and no, just fabrication of documents and defamation. So whether or not the predator, he lied about the predator, if he lied about anything about the predator, or two, if the DCF documents were fake or real. I want you loving and I want you prepared to make her out of bad romance. Yeah. You want to sing a little bit with me?
By the way, I'm like going back and I'm reading some comments and just want to clarify. Somebody said, how about being objective, not subjective, Turtle Boy? I don't hide the fact. Mark Randazza has actually put this in my pleadings with the Julia Mejia case. We don't pretend to be objective. We are completely biased against liberals in particular, but also against ratchets and stuff like that. So I don't pretend to show the other side of degenerates and ratchets and communists. I just write critically of them. So I just want to make that clear.
I understand. Here we go. Thoughts on our Nevada judges covering Chile trial? I have not been following any of the Chile stuff. Have you been following the Chile stuff, Dan?
Oh, yeah, just a little bit.
Can you update us?
He got arrested finally, an officer got fed up with his bullshit he pulls. And he got arrested. I think the charges were interfering with the stop and resisting arrest.
Ooh. Oh wait, I saw that video. I saw that video of him.
But he has a bigger problem coming up after his live that he did tonight that he's now removed. He was dumb enough to commit a Class D felony on live stream whilst talking with internal affairs for the Las Vegas Metro Police Department when they specifically warned him, do not do this.
What felony?
He was recording them and streaming it on YouTube.
Well,
it's a two-party state. You can't do that.
I'm seeing all of the jurors pop in, so I'm going to have us up on screen. So juror number 3, would you like to read the verdict?
Oh my goodness. I was going to have, there was somebody else that was going to read it.
We have juror number 2, and we have juror number 2. Were you going to read the verdict?
Yeah, I'm going to read it. Already? So for the first count of defamation, we found that he was not guilty for defamation of using the word predator towards the individual. And for the second counts, we also found not guilty for falsifying paperwork and documents. Not
Alrighty,
guilty.
thank you, jurors. We appreciate it, and we can't wait to be posting your video online. And we really appreciate your time. It was much longer than we anticipated it going, but I hope you had a good time. I hope you had fun, and we appreciate you taking this seriously. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, well, this is it tonight. We have our conclusion, and I need to read one final chat. And the video stocks are down, stuck on that Sam Hill. Anyway, thank you so much. We're gonna close it out here. Have a good night, y'all. And Henry, go ahead and end the stream.